You'll uncover more secrets by observing human psychology. 1. People who experienced toxic love in childhood often seek similar relationships in adulthood because it's the only form of love they're familiar with. 2. People who always apologize first may have been conditioned to believe they're always at fault. 3. People who constantly seek validation, usually because their achievements were ignored during childhood. 4th, girls who lean toward caregiving roles are often shaped by traditional parenting values. 5. Boys who hide their emotions may have internalized societal notions that expressing feelings is a sign of weakness. 6. People who deflect compliments likely have low self-esteem or were taught their achievements aren't good enough. They must always be the best. 7. Skeptical people may have experienced betrayal, leading them to guard their trust carefully. 8. Overly self-reliant people might have learned early on that they could only depend on themselves, or they were only children. 9. People who struggle with setting boundaries probably grew up in environments where their personal limits were constantly violated. Here are some slightly twisted psychological tricks. 1. If you're in a group of strangers, start waving at someone with a lot of enthusiasm and excitement. If they wave back, say, "No, no, no, I was waving at the person behind you. I wasn't waving at you, you idiot." 2. Next time you see a jerk doing something stupid on the road, instead of flipping them off, give them a thumbs down gesture. It'll bother them way more. 3. If someone is really getting on your nerves, casually say, "Hey, you've got something on your teeth." Even if they don't, they'll feel self-conscious for the next hour. 4. If you're in a heated argument with someone, just drop this line. "You know what? Everything they said about you is true." Then walk away. 5. When someone is rambling nonsense and you've had enough, squint at them and ask, "Have you always had that lazy eye?" 6. When someone is bragging about something, just nod and say, "That's adorable. I remember my first beer too." 7. Finally, if you want to make someone uncomfortable, just stare at their forehead while they're talking. Some fascinating and practical psychological tricks. 1. Nodding to encourage agreement. When you want someone to agree with your point, try nodding your head slightly up and down. This subtle body language can subconsciously influence them, making them more likely to align with your perspective. The Benjamin Franklin effect. Benjamin Franklin once suggested that if someone seems cold or distant towards you, ask them for a small favor. For example, he mentioned borrowing a book. After you return the book and express genuine gratitude, that person is likely to feel more positively toward you in the future. 3. Lower your voice to diffuse anger. If someone is angry, try lowering your voice to a whisper. Often, after a moment, they'll unconsciously match your volume and begin to calm down. 4th, exploit nervousness in competitive settings. If you notice your opponent is a beginner or showing signs of anxiety in a competitive environment, casually ask, "Are you nervous?" You can even throw in a yawn for good measure. This will mess with their head and throw them off their game. 5. Ask for clarification on offensive remarks.